Haley here with Eagle Vision. This week, new Caney High School students took a look at intelligence. There seems to be a lot of confusion over who's intelligent.
Okay, I think intelligence is like people with the glasses and stuff, and they have like the little ties. So, or Courtney. Courtney's intelligent. That's a nerd. Albert Einstein's intelligent. Bill Gates, that boy, he's pretty beastly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like all of our presidents that we had so far are Obama's not intelligent.
I said so far, I wasn't talking about that one.
Schools have the job of trying to make students more intelligent. What does that involve? Some New Caney High School students travel to the University of Houston for answers.
Students are preparing for the real world, and the real world is looking for the brightest. But what does it mean to be the brightest?
You tell when somebody's smart when they use big words.
I think it means that they're able to take care of themselves and they can handle tense situations on their own.
It's like something out of A Tale of Two Cities. The two students look, talk, and act the same and often make the same scores on class tests. While one student is considered normal, the other, according to school records, is considered special education. Believe it or not, such contradictions are possible in modern education. I'm Amanda Rodriguez from the University of Houston, here to take a closer look at something that drives our school systems, a quest for intelligence. Dr. Dov Lieberman teaches educational development at the University of Houston and says standardized test scores do not always tell us which students are intelligent, because intelligence is hard to define.
There are many, many problems defining intelligence. As a matter of fact, there are so many different definitions that nobody's sure what it means.
Students we spoke with use terms like smart and bright.
When I say that someone is intelligent, it basically just means that they're really smart.
But what does it mean to be smart or bright? And can administering tests to determine intelligence be harmful? Dr. Lieberman says that many people confuse IQ tests with tests that measure achievement or past learning.
From my perspective, the biggest problem that we have with standardized tests of intelligence is that they measure how much you know to a large extent. So there's one section asks your vocabulary, one section, although they don't use it too much anymore, is math problems. Another section is just general knowledge. How far is it from this place to that place? So how is that different from an achievement test? Becomes the question. If I were to sit down with any person and say, here, let's drill, let's go over the intelligence test and let's see what the answers are, you can practice, you do much better. And there are many approaches of intelligence which have to do with thinking and understanding and knowing, which can't do that.
Lieberman says because a person can memorize many facts does not mean that a person is intelligent, especially if the person memorizing the facts does not know what to do with the facts.
And basically an intelligence test really cannot differentiate between innate ability, if such a thing exists, and achievement.
And I know a lot of people who are like really smart, but then they do, dumb things that, common sense would say, hey, no, you shouldn't really be doing that.
As a matter of fact, I have a daughter who is very book smart and intelligent, but she lacks a little common sense, and I'll give you an example. In high school, I used to drive her all around Kingwood to take her to her various appointments. And when she was old enough to receive her license and drive a car, she had absolutely no idea where the school was or where we lived because she never paid any attention and had no common sense about those sorts of things.
Dr. Lieberman says that intelligence can be divided into different areas.
From the beginning of IQ tests, there were people who were saying IQ is not one thing. Different people can be better in different areas. There was a guy named Guilford who identified 120 and later as far as 160 different kinds of IQ. For instance, there are some people, I've known people who are brilliant, but every time they go into a social situation, they mess it up. So, I'm the best accountant in the world. I have the highest exam, the CPA exam ever. I go into the accounting firm and I say to the person who wants to hire me, who set up these practices, to the head of the company? And she says to me, I did. I said, well, you're a fool. Good thing you hired me to set up all the things that you messed up. well, obviously I'm not going to get the job. That's social intelligence.
Lieberman points out that tests such as the SAT or ACT can be discriminatory because not all families can afford the practice tests feeding you the facts on these tests. Ultimately, the biggest problem with standardized tests is that they are often used to label students, and labels can be good or bad. With Eagle Vision, I'm Amanda. See you next time.
Next week, we will look at more problems associated with standardized tests.